Good morning, and welcome to this week's edition of Marquette in Motion. We're your hosts, Hallie Kilberg
and Miranda Peters. We've got a full show for you today once again, so let's get right to it.
We have a very special guest reporter this week. She happens to share my last name and my address. This week, our academic feature will be brought to you by guest reporter Elise Kilberg, who will be sharing some of the activities happening in the middle school science room.
Also in segment 2, Justina will be giving us all the exciting details on the upcoming book fair and the parent-teacher conference schedule.
And Jeb and Garrett will be here with your Marquette Sports Report.
Molly and Maura will be here in segment 3 interviewing second grade teacher Ms. Rebecca Drouse.
And finally, Miranda and I will be sharing all that you have to look forward to next week.
But before we get into all of that, we'd first like to reflect on this past week. It was an especially meaningful week for students here at Marquette.
It was National Anti-Bullying Week, and while bullying is never allowed in our school, the week was filled with activities and statistics to show students the sad truths of bullying, both online and face-to-face.
Monday kicked off with Blue Shirt Day, which was an opportunity for students to show support for anti-bullying. Students that wore blue out-of-dress code shirts were rewarded with blue Tootsie Rolls as they entered the school. The National Honor Society organized this event.
Tuesday was then Unity Day, where during QUIPS, which is a 20-minute student-wide study hall, Mrs. Storm and members of the National Honor Society showed a video which made students realize the statistics of bullying, such as the reality that 70% of American students witness bullying online, and only 10% of those students do anything about it.
The presentation was a very powerful explanation of how much bullying goes on in this world around us, and that we can and need to stop it.
Then on Wednesday, we focused on another aspect of healthy living, Going the Distance Day, and the benefits of being outside and walking.
For half an hour, the entire school system went for a walk around the park, taking in the beautiful fall weather.
And earlier that morning, the preschool through 5th grade elementary students also listened to speaker Jimmy Bell, former New York Giants and San Diego Chargers player.
He shared with students some of the wisdom that he's gained throughout his life, such as, number 1, always think about the legacy you'll be leaving and remember that your attitude, your actions, and your effort will become the backbone of this legacy.
Number 2, don't only have a dream or a goal, but also remember that it's imperative to work toward that goal every day.
And finally, keep your what-if bag as light as possible, as missed opportunities can often not be reclaimed.
We'd like to thank Jimmy Bell for coming in to give the great advice.
And the bells don't stop there. This weekend, the Marquette family will hear wedding bells. Today, high school history teacher Mr. Hansby will be getting married.
The faculty is very excited for him to start this new segment of his life.
And we hope that you're excited for our next segment, which will be up right after the break.
Welcome back to Marquette in Motion. Here now is Elise Kilberg to give you all the updates on recent middle school science happenings.
Hi, I'm 7th grade student Elise Kilberg, and this week I'm here to tell you about a couple of recent projects that our class has been creating in science this week. The first project was a 3-dimensional model of a typical plant or animal cell. I chose to make an animal cell, using Play-Doh as the cell wall, Twizzlers as mitochondria, and I used some supplies from one of my favorite pastimes, bands from my Rainbow Loom kit, to construct the lysosomes and nucleolus. This week, the 7th graders were also assigned the task of building 2 different types of rubber band race cars and to make an isometric drawing of each. The big race day for these student-designed rubber band cars was yesterday. Congratulations to our 7th grade winner, Gavin O'Brien, whose rubber band car traveled a distance of 2.4 meters. And now it's time for me to get going, too. For Marquette in Motion, this has been 7th grader Elise Kilberg as your guest reporter.
Thanks, Elise. Here now is Justina Dellinger reporting on the upcoming parent-teacher conferences and the book fair.
Each fall, parents have the opportunity to meet one-on-one with their child's teachers to discuss their child's progress thus far and share how the child is meeting his or her educational goals. Next Wednesday, school will dismiss early so that these conferences can be held. They will occur from 3:30 to 8 p.m. Thursday is also an early release day so that parents may set up conference times if need be. Coinciding with conferences will be a PTO-sponsored book fair to be held in the Media Center. Early next week, each preschool to 8th grade student will visit the book fair to preview books and compile a wish list. The book fair will then be open for student purchases on Tuesday and Wednesday mornings and during conferences on Wednesday. Speaking of books, now it's time for me to turn the page. For Marquette in Motion, this has been Justina Denlinger.
Thanks, Justina. Up next, we have Jeb and Garrett with the Marquette Sports Report.
Thanks, Hallie. Marquette's cross-country teams and volleyball teams have had yet again another great week in competition.
Bellevue's livestock judging team also took part in a contest this past weekend.
The livestock judging team traveled to Grand Island, Nebraska this past Sunday, October 1st, to compete at the 2017 Exarban Livestock Judging Contest.
The team took 11th place overall, and individually Wade Schwager placed 8th overall in the beef division.
The freshman volleyball team traveled to East Dubuque on Monday, October 2nd, where they played very well against formidable opponents.
All the volleyball teams then traveled to Kalamazoo-Wheatland on Tuesday, October 3rd. The freshman and JV teams both lost hard-fought games. The varsity team played a very hard 5 matches, however they're not able to come out with the win.
We will have the results from Thursday night's volleyball games against Midland next week.
The cross-country teams also hosted a very successful Marquette Invitational on Monday, October 2nd.
The boys' team took 6th place, led by Will Drouse, who placed 14th, with a time of 18:52.
The girls' team had another first-place finish at home. They were led by sophomore Hallie Kilberg, who finished second with a time of 20:24.
For Marquette in Motion, this has been Jeb Schwager
And Garrett Krieg
with your Marquette Sports Report.
Thanks, guys. Stay tuned, listeners. We'll be back with more Marquette in Motion after the break. Welcome back to Marquette in Motion. Here now are Molly and Maura interviewing Ms. Rebecca Drouse.
Hi, I'm Maura Tracy.
And this is Molly Minster.
And today we are interviewing one of the year's new faculty members, second grade teacher, Ms. Rebecca Drouse.
Hi, Miss Drouse. Would you be able to tell us a little bit about yourself?
Hello. So my name is Miss Becca, or Rebecca Drouse. I graduated from Marquette in the year 2011. I went here kindergarten through my senior year. After that, I went to Loras College, where I got my bachelor's in education. And after that, I subbed for a little bit, and then I got a job in Petersburg, Iowa at Hennessy Catholic Elementary School, where I taught 3rd grade. And that was before coming back here. Are you happy to rejoin the Marquette family? It's a wonderful feeling to be back at the Marquette Catholic family. This place has many fond memories for me growing up, so it's wonderful to be back here, see many familiar faces, and be a part of the family again.
What do you feel like is your greatest strength or passion as a teacher?
This one's always a tough one. I think one of them may be my passion, my enthusiasm for discussion with the children. I love to hear their ideas, have them share them with me, and for us to be able to expand on them. I love their interests, so taking what they're interested in and using that in education. Do you have any funny anecdotes from teaching? There are always interesting moments. I'm really bad at right off the top of my head moments, though. The children are just so genuine, though, and so there's so many moments and things that they say that are just so wonderful teaching. It's part of what makes it so enjoyable.
In your life, what or who has most inspired you?
In my life, I would have to say teachers have been a great inspiration for me. It's one of the reasons I decided to become a teacher. My dad was a teacher, so he is one of those great inspirations. Just the enthusiasm they've shared with me and the information and how they have helped me to grow in my interests and in my wanting to explore the world. What do you like to do in your free time? I love to read, so I have a book with me at all times, whether it's on my phone or in a bag. I also like to play sports such as softball and volleyball. So when I have free time, especially during the summer and fall, I can be found playing softball or volleyball.
Well, thank you so much, Ms. Joss, for letting us interview you. Until next week, this has been Molly Minster.
And Maura Tracy.
With this week's interview.
Thanks, girls. To round out the show, Miranda and I are here to give you all the details on important upcoming Marquette events.
This coming Tuesday, October 10th, the Fresh Soft, JV, and varsity volleyball teams will be playing Edco, with the game starting at 5:15 in the MEC. This will be senior night, so be sure to come out and support the seniors in their last regular season home game.
Then on Wednesday, the 11th, there will be a 12:10 dismissal because of the parent-teacher conferences. Conferences will start at 3:30 and end at 8 p.m.
Then on Thursday, October 12th, Dr. Leo from the Serve Haiti organization will be here with Cindy Broders to talk to our K-12 students about his life and the work he does for a clinic in Haiti. He will talk from 8:30 till 9 a.m. Also, the cross-country teams will be traveling to Northland High School to compete in their conference meet.
Also on Thursday, the volleyball teams will be playing in a Tri-Rivers Conference tournament starting at 5 o'clock p.m.
There will also be another early dismissal on Thursday at 12:10 while teachers participate in professional development.
Then Friday the 13th really proves to be unlucky, as students have no school that day.
But we do feel lucky that you've tuned in this week. For Marquette in Motion, this has been Miranda Peters.
And Hallie Kilberg.
And remember, stay informed, stay involved, stay
in motion.